Welcome to Awakening Mindfulness at Work, a conversation that matters. I'm Pierre Cowant.
And I'm Sarah Killeen. We are bringing to you conversations and practices to cultivate presence, calm, and balance in the workplace.
Today's topic is one we've touched on many times, but just in passing. We haven't yet really focused on it directly. And what I'm talking about here is something we all use every day, the humble to-do list. Now, at a first glance, a to-do list seems like a very simple productivity tool, and it's just a place where we keep track of what needs to get done. They help us feel organized, focused, and it feels good to check something off the to-do list. I'm sure you can all relate to that. And how cool is that? But in reality, many of us have a much more complicated relationship with our to-do list. Our to-do list may feel like a relentless reminder of everything we haven't done yet. And we may start the day with 10 items or 15 items and then end the day with 20 or 30 items. Or we might carry the same dreaded items for days, for weeks, much longer. So our to-do list can actually become less of a tool and more of a source of pressure, anxiety, sometimes guilt or self-judgment, or sometimes resentments towards others or the world who's creating these to-do items. Therefore, the relationship with our to-do list, if not well managed, can have an impact on our enjoyment of life, on our health, and our well-being. And that's why this is an important topic to explore. I'd like to explore a few thoughts about working with to-do lists. And by the way, Sarah and I have talked extensively about this topic. And in this episode, I plan to share some of our conversations. And knowing this is a huge topic, we're planning to tackle this topic in several episodes. So each focused on a different facet of this fairly involved topic. Today, I would like to focus on three simple but very powerful approaches or techniques. And these techniques, which are practical and relatively easy to apply, can also have a surprisingly profound effect and impact on our mindset and well-being. So these techniques are renaming, reframing, and breaking down. So let's talk about each one of those. And in later episodes, by the way, we'll move into the how we do things on the to-do list, our state of being, our emotions, thoughts, and also brainstorm on what I would like to call radical ways of rethinking the to-do list. And by the way, if you are liking our conversations, please press the like button and also the subscribe button. We really appreciate you being with us. So now back to the to-do list, and let's start with renaming and reframing. So renaming, instead of calling it a to-do list, here are some names you may want to consider. It could be a gentle name such as possibility list or opportunity list or aspiration list or maybe invitation list. So those could be some more gentle names. Or you can go into more playful names like an adventure list or a quest list or let's see list. That could work. or maybe a productivity related name with less pressure, something like a focus list or a progress list. I call mine, by the way, the possibility list. So, what would you call yours? Would love to see what you might call yours. Maybe you can add that to the comments section of this episode. Now, why is this interesting and useful? Just making that small shift in language can actually start to loosen the grip that the list has on us. These better names, I like to call them better names, acknowledge that these are possibilities and not mandates. So the items on the to do list, they're not mandates. If you take the larger view, the bigger perspective, there are very few mandates in life. However, our conditioning and also our fear and anxiety may turn many things into mandates. So the invitation here is to step back and take the wiser approach, the larger view, and remember that we are the driver here, not the to-do list. So this was the renaming and then also the reframing. So let's talk now about the third approach that I mentioned earlier, which is breaking down the to-do list. And when it comes to breaking down the to-do list, I have a couple specific ideas for us to explore today. One is having a not to-do list. Okay, so let me explain. This means creating a list, calling it the not to-do list, and choosing certain items thoughtfully and intentionally, and moving them from the to-do list into the not to-do list. So we're consciously deciding to not do them. This is a pivotal step. Basically, it's stepping up and finding the courage, working up the courage to make these decisions intentionally, strategically. An important detail here, deleting the item from the to-do list is not likely to be enough. It's basically what I'm suggesting is moving it, literally moving it from the to-do list to the not to-do list. That's because deleting an item may still have it be lingering in our mind somewhere in the background. And of course, what will our mind do? It will randomly resurrect these items at some point, and we may get busy with them again and again. So instead of deleting an item, we put it in the not to do list, which is like putting it to rest and releasing whatever energy would otherwise be still taken by it. So, again, let's think about the bigger picture. So, what does it really mean moving items from the to do list to the not to do list in the bigger picture? What this means is coming to terms with the reality and the fact that we have a certain amount of time and energy. And while there are many things that would be interesting to do or desirable or even important to do, but there's just not enough space for all of them. And sometimes we may even have too many important things to do, and we need to realize that some important things cannot and will not be done. So either we leave it up to chance and therefore randomly end up doing certain things and missing other important things, or we can step up and wisely choose what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. And now, let me share a few more thoughts about how we might select those items, because that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. So I'm going to share a few more thoughts about how you might select items that you may move from the to-do list to the not to-do list. So first, it could be because saying yes to this item means saying no to something that's more important to us or to whatever the context is. Another reason why we might move such an item, it could be that it's not the best use of our time or energy, or because it's perfectionism that's keeping this item alive. Would love to hear from you in the comments about an item that you have moved from the to-do list to the not to-do list. And also, if you have other ideas about why would you move an item to the not to-do list. So just to give us a little bit of an orientation, we're still talking about the breaking down of the to-do list, breaking down the to-do list. And I just talked about the not to-do list. And now I'd like to introduce one more idea, which is the someday list. So what is the someday list? And that's another list we can move items to from the to-do list. So the someday list are the nice to have items and ideas. So maybe dreams and wishes and things that we might want to explore someday. This list gives us the permission to keep these items in a safe place. Some of them may even bring some joy, just to know that they are safe and sound and ready for us when we are ready for them. Just to give you a little example, one of my someday list items is to learn to play the cello someday. What is yours? Again, would love to know in the comments section. So in conclusion, renaming, reframing, and breaking down the to-do list. Having the not to-do list and the someday list. All this helps us lighten the to-do list and have it be focused on things that matter. Now, these techniques may seem to be on the surface simple, and maybe even some of them, you might think, oh, this is trivial, but perhaps the greatest value isn't the technique itself, it's the mindset that's behind the technique and the mindset that these techniques are inviting us to cultivate. And one of the mindsets is stepping back and seeing the bigger picture. Basically putting things in perspective and remembering that very few things in life are true mandates, that we have choices, that we are the driver, not the to-do list. And another mindset is a mindset of courage, the courage to make intentional decisions, the courage to let go, the courage to say not now or even not at all, so that we can give our time and energy and attention to what really matters, with the realization that there are things that may matter, but that we just are going to say no to because there is no space, and we want to keep space for our well-being and for our ability to be present and enjoy what we're doing. Stay tuned for future episodes where we explore the how we do things on the to-do list, and how we manage the fear, the anxiety, the boredom, and also brainstorm on more radical ways and ideas related to the to-do list. Thank you for listening.